Oh, what was that thing?
I have no idea, dude.
Oh, dude, they were taking everyone. Where did you get that?
I don't know. It was just right here.
Yeah? Help us how? How?
Hello?
Bro,
Hello?
you can't. Alright, oh my.
Damn it.
Alright, well.
Now that that's over with. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Real and Respawn podcast. I'm your host, Stephen Hudson, and with me today I have a good friend, fellow gamer, Garrett. How are you doing today?
Doing good today. I'm glad we got away from catnap.
Yeah, that's very good.
That was not fun. That was not fun. So, what's our topic for today?
Our topic for today is Poppy Playtime chapters 3 and 4.
If it couldn't be more obvious.
Before I get started off, I just want to ask you, what are your thoughts on both of these chapters?
They are probably the most lore-heavy of all of the previous two chapters. Compared to them, these are so lore-heavy.
Absolutely, yeah.
They tell you so much more. They confirm so many other theories that were in the past. And all in all, these chapters were just really fun.
Yeah, I feel like these chapters are very interesting because they take a lot darker turn than the previous two chapters. Like chapter 1 and 2 weren't very, because you didn't know a lot about these characters, that what was inside of them and all that stuff. And until chapter 3, when you actually got into figuring out what the Hour of Joy was and all that kind of stuff, you realize how dark of a place, the dark history here and all that kind of stuff got revealed via the VHS tapes.
Yes.
Those were very important pieces, and I felt like there was a lot of VHS tapes, and specifically in these two chapters. And what I also thought was interesting was the character designs, because you know how a lot of the creatures that we've seen, or not creatures, but toys that we've seen have been very toy-like. Like, for example, Mommy Longlegs and Huggy Wuggy, they don't have really a lot of human aspects to them.
Yeah, that, and they were very, they definitely appeased to a child.
But Catnap's design was, you could see a visible spine.
Yeah, if we could pull up Catnap is so different compared to his other toy variants. It's insane. He looks like a cat.
Yeah.
He looks physically like the build of a cat, and it's really different compared to Huggy or Mommy Longlegs, because their designs were definitely meant to appease.
Absolutely,
not scare.
Well, I think it's very interesting, because I wonder, let's say, for example, just a hypothetical scenario, this Big Bodies initiative ended up working out, nothing went wrong, and they actually became official mascots. Who's going to perceive Catnap as somebody that they can trust with their children?
That's the thing. The difference between a lot of these characters is their purpose. What were they built for?
Yeah.
The purpose of the Bigger Bodies Initiative was to create a larger workforce, to make it less costly to buy labor. So they decided, why don't we make bigger bodies?
Yeah. Bigger
bodies means stronger bodies, which means less labor. In the beginning, in chapter 1, which we talked about before, Huggy's purpose was as security. Mommy Longlegs' purpose was to take care of the children within the playtime area. Catnap's purpose was to put children to sleep and to guard Playcare.
Yeah.
I don't know if we have a picture of the orphanage, but Playcare in of itself was an on-site orphanage. Yeah. So they didn't have to keep explaining kids.
The way you got there was crazy. You had to take a trolley, and you had to get there. It was underground, and it's crazy.
Before we jump into the lore, because there's a lot of it. What were your thoughts on the gameplay? I'm not as skilled in that area as you are.
So, I feel like the gameplay was fine. I felt like it was very puzzle heavy, especially chapter 3, because the final boss fight required a puzzle to defeat him.
No, pretty much.
And a lot of the times those puzzles ended up you had to use batteries. You had to use I believe it was the green. No, it wasn't the green one.
It was the green one. Yeah, the green one held an electric charge.
Yeah, that one, you had to use that one to charge different stations, especially in the school area with the teachers.
Mrs. Delight. We have a picture of her.
Yeah.
We can pull up Miss Delight. Definitely a weird character.
Yeah, she's creepy looking. What do they have to do with anything about the... Do they have to do anything with the...
So Miss Delight, the purpose of Miss Delight, a teacher. The issue with the Bigger Bodies Initiative was intelligence played a massive role in how the Bigger Bodies operated. The more intelligent someone was, the more they would retain about themselves, and the quicker they would be able to relearn everything they knew.
Yeah.
The less intelligent they were, the harder it would be to turn them into a bigger body that would be competent enough to control. We see that with Huggy. Huggy's clearly not easily controlled. Mommy Longlegs is very aware, and Catnap is also very aware. So there's a big gap in intelligence.
Yes.
The way that Mommy described it in Chapter 2, basically the tests in that area, we're kind of jumping into Chapter 2, but it's important to Chapter 3. Yeah. They would pick out the best of the bunch, those who scored highest, and then turn them into bigger bodies. They would get taken to the orphanage, basically adopted by Playtime Co. Right? Further, I don't know if I can say a certain word. They were basically coerced into getting smarter and smarter and to trusting Playtime Co. more and more. The weirdest and most terrifying thing, though, is the way they made them disappear. They would have a family that's ready to adopt said child, and coincidentally, the day before that child goes missing. The day before the date they're supposed to pick them up, that child goes missing.
Crazy. That's crazy. What I also saw that was very interesting was actually in one of the ARGs for Chapter 5. It was actually Catnap when they were experimenting on him when they first made him into the big body Catnap. They were basically, what's the word, like almost brainwashing him into becoming what he was before into Catnap. And it's a very, when you think about it, it's a very morbid process. It's not good. Which actually leads into my next question is, who is contained within Catnap?
Oh, that's a fun question, actually. Within Catnap is the child known as Theodore. I don't have a last name. I don't think, at least. Theodore was a very smart child. And Harley Sawyer, a.k.a. the Doctor, if we can get a picture of the Doctor, at least what he looks like in Chapter 4, the Doctor took a very nice liking to Theodore. Because Theodore was very intelligent, and Theodore challenged him, and Theodore kind of reminded him of his younger self. But also, the prototype played a big role, because in the pictures you find around Playcare, it's clear that the prototype was around Theodore before he was a bigger body. It was kind of weird because Theodore seemed to trust the prototype as well. So after becoming a bigger body and then being brainwashed like we saw in the ARG, the only thing that was left of him was his loyalty to the prototype and his intellect. Which wasn't that great after the Bigger Bodies Initiative, which is why he's so like grotesque and not very but it's why he can talk so much better than like Huggy, but not as good as, you know. And also the weirder part is, I don't know if it was in the ARG or in a VHS tape, one of the, I can't remember his direct name, the head of innovation. Yes. He was talking to
Elliot Ludwig.
No, that's the creator.
Oh yeah,
that's the owner. He said that Catnap's, like, the way he spoke, there was something inside of his the way he spoke that was broken. Yeah. Not like how he spoke, but he just physically, it was hard to speak. That's the weird part about him.
That also leads into my next question, actually, is, do you believe Catnap was a successful experiment?
Yes.
Yeah? You think so? Why?
I mean, only really because the purpose of the Bigger Bodies Initiative was to create less labor. Catnap did not do anything outside of what the company wanted until the hour of joy.
Yeah. That's when his loyalty to the prototype ended up taking over, and he ended up doing what the prototype was saying.
Because the prototype is the one who orchestrated the hour of joy.
Yes.
The issue with him being a success, though, that in my eyes, is his lack of self-thought.
What do you mean by that?
He does what he's told. He's very subservient to the prototype. So he's one of those beings that need to be told to do something.
Yeah.
Without being told to do something, they kind of do nothing.
That's why I would say probably not. He wasn't a successful experiment, because the person that he should have been listening to was Playtime Co. And he really didn't end up doing that. They tried their best by showing everything that he wasn't. He was just Catnap. You weren't Theodore, but Theodore still remains somewhat, and that's where that loyalty still takes place within Catnap. And I just feel like, again, it always just comes back to that really sad reality that these people are just like they're children, and now he's just retaining what he remembered as a child, and that was the loyalty to the prototype. And it's very interesting.
If I may, it's in their eyes, it was more logical to use kids, only because when they tried to use an adult for this experiment, unlike the children who maintained some semblance of themselves, an adult completely forgot who they were. They became something different, and they were very confused, and they didn't know what was going on. But what's even weirder is the other toys that were alive, that were the children. They could sense that they were not one of them, and they all attacked the adult-made toy. Like it was so self-aware, and it was just really different. And I understand, like, there were a lot of more complications in using an adult who thinks more logically, than a child who's at the time easier to manipulate.
Who were the toys that adults were turned into?
The only toy that I know of that they used an adult for the experiment was Brawn, which is the dinosaur-looking one. If we can get a picture of Brawn, it doesn't have to be his transformed form; it can be just his animated one. Brawn was turned into Brawn became one of the employees. And the employee was very confused, didn't know who he was, didn't know what was going on or where he was, so he was completely like a blank slate. The issue is he did not mesh well with the other toys. Because the other toys could sense that there was something wrong. Because they all had a semblance of who they were.
Yeah.
That one didn't.
Yeah.
So they all attacked him.
It's crazy to think about. It's really sad. Think about it. Was it out of his own will, or did he choose to do that?
I think it was against his will.
It was against his will? Okay.
I don't think he willingly became
some of those people are crazy. So I have a funny question for you, actually.
Oh boy.
If you could have been a part of the Bigger Bodies Initiative,
oh no,
which toy would you want to become and why?
None of them. That's horrible. Oh, okay. I mean, if I had to pick,
yeah.
We're not going to talk about them yet because we're still talking about Chapter 3.
Yeah.
I will answer that question when we move into our next segment,
okay.
Which is not yet, but I'll answer that question later.
Okay. Because
that's a funny question.
And one more question about basically the smiling critters. Do you think we're going to see any other smiling critters that were part of the Big Bodies Initiative in Chapter 5?
No.
No?
Because in Chapter 3, you do meet... Oh, we forgot to get a picture of him. Can we pull up a picture of Dog Day? Or just pull up the smiling critters again? Because Dog Day... we meet Dog Day, or the Bigger Bodies version of Dog Day, in a little prison under play care.
Yeah.
And Dog Day says that that Catnap killed all of the other smiling critters, and he was the last remaining.
Of the Big Bodies
Yes.
Initiative. Okay.
Sorry, one more time. Pull that picture up one more time. Dog Day is the one in the very center of the picture. He's the one at the very top, top middle.
He's waving his left hand.
Yeah, that's Dog Day. Mm-hmm. But Dog Day actively says that all of the bigger body Smiler critters were destroyed by Catnap, and he was the last left. Yeah. And he didn't have his legs.
Yeah.
That wasn't fun for him. And then what happens to him after is even worse.
I don't know if we could talk about that. I don't know if we could talk about that.
I think we can. We've talked about Resident Evil. We've talked about Pennywise. Yeah. They've done way worse. So basically, Dog Day's fate, a bunch of the little smiling critters, they all crawl up the middle of his torso where his legs are missing and basically eat him from the inside out and then control his body like a puppet.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
It's brutal. It's brutal. Other than that, I mean,
I do have some questions for you though.
Okay, go ahead.
So, in chapter 3, we're introduced to a new hand. Mm-hmm. The purple hand. Funny enough, purple background. The purple hand allows you to do those little jump maneuvers. What do you think of that little change? That need to maneuver, unlike the other ones, because the other ones were very puzzle focused. Like, what are your thoughts on purple hand?
I think it's very interesting because now that you have a hand like this, there could have been moments in chapter 1 and 2 that you could have reached before, even finding out this hand exists. So being able to have this new hand, I feel like we're going to be able to find new places that we haven't discovered before in previous chapters. And what I think is going to happen is in chapter 5, I think there's going to be a sequence where we go through like the entire game, and it's like, I have a theory it's going to be like it's all crumbling down, and we escape with all the children and we leave, and we have to use a purple grab pack to get out.
I think it's going to go the exact opposite.
You think so?
I think we're going to fail.
Ooh.
Because I compare it to Bendy and the Ink Machine, which we definitely have to talk about in another podcast. Yeah. That's a whole nother can of worms. But I think that in the end, we are going to fail. Uh-huh. It just, to me, it doesn't seem realistic to make it out of that big facility with a group of kids by yourself with, like, nothing at that point. Yeah. Another question. I don't know if you notice, but throughout each game, the steps that your character takes gets heavier. What do you think of that little addition?
Heavier instance, like the camera bopping, like, you know, kind of like,
so when you run, right? When you run, your character does that little. You hear the steps, right? Mm-hmm. But as the chapters go on, that run gets slower and slower. That sound, that running sound, gets slower.
We're getting tired. We're getting what is it like? No, I almost said malnourished.
Tossed around.
Just all that stuff. You just getting beaten up, battered, all that kind of stuff, you know? And I feel like maybe at one point in chapter 5, maybe that comes into play. Like, we just can't keep going anymore. It's too tight. We're too tired. And then we ended up, you know, meeting our fate to the prototype, possibly. But there actually, I heard there was rumors that the prototype was actually going to be only like the second big bad of chapter 5. There was going to be another one.
Yeah. Speaking of, actually, we do have to talk about a little bit about chapter 5 since it's coming out this February.
Yeah.
In chapter 5, I do not have a name. For the life of me, I couldn't find it. It's probably out there. There is some paint-based enemy with a long purple hair, with a paintbrush looking and. Or to me, I could also compare it to like a scorpion tail.
Yeah.
But she is in the trailer for chapter 5.
Okay.
So it's weird because it's similar to how in chapter not 4. 3? It's 4, so we'll talk about a little bit about that later.
Yeah.
But showing two big bads makes you question which one actually takes center stage.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You have the prototype who's been the antagonist through 2 through 4, and then you have this random who shows up out of nowhere, just like every other chapter.
Yeah. Speaking of, look what's on that screen right there.
Oh yeah, that's the Hour of Joy.
I have a funny question for you.
Please don't ask me if I was in the Hour of Joy. This is going to be horrible.
If you were in the Hour of Joy. How long are you lasting?
Not long.
Let's say.
Let's get down to the technicals.
Yeah.
Where am I? In Playtime Co. Like, which area am I in?
I'll let you choose.
Oh, no. No.
I'll let you choose. What do you think you have the best ability to survive?
Not catnap. Catnap would put me to sleep.
So no playtime
so
or
not
no
play care.
Yeah, no play care.
It's not play care. I would probably get snatched by Mommy Longlegs.
Mm-hmm.
I think out of everything, you probably have a better chance with Huggy than anyone.
Yeah.
Huggy's fast, but Huggy's also felt.
Yeah.
He can't climb and he can't he can't maneuver like that. We saw that because he could have caught himself when he was falling. But I think out of anywhere, you probably have a better chance surviving in Chapter 1 with Huggy than anyone else.
Okay.
Because Huggy, out of all of them, is the least intelligent.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. That makes sense. I feel like where I would be, think about it. You could just be chilling in play care. And like there's so many hiding spots, bro. And plus, Catnap, he's too big to get in certain places.
You do not realize if you are in play care, you also have to put up with the small smiling critters.
Not necessarily.
Yes.
Not necessarily.
Buddy.
We never saw the little ones in the main area.
Yes, you did.
No, you didn't.
Bro, if you go through the main house where they stored all the kids,
you have to go there.
Oh,
don't
the
go
other
there.
gun. You have to use the flare hand to get rid of the little guys. That is the only place in play care that Catnap is not big enough to enter.
Do we say we have a grab pack?
I mean, do you think you'd do better with just your hands?
No. Think about it. If I get a grab pack, I could just like grab something on the ceiling and I could just hang.
True.
I could just do that.
No, he's gonna do that. He's gonna do an Olympic jump and pull you.
Yeah,
down.
I could just do that.
Okay,
So,
I mean, if we have a grab pack, this is during the Hour of Joy. I feel like you have a lot better chance in Chapter 1 out of anything, because Catnap, I'll give you this. Yes, he's big. He's not slow though. There are a lot more areas to hide. Issue: we've seen him in every room of play care. How did he get in? If he can't fit, how did he get in?
He's probably just gonna break it.
How? Also, he can stand on two legs, right?
Yeah.
What do you think he's gonna do if he's just he's running on all fours, right? And then he just stands up. He goes from maybe 6 feet off the ground from head to floor to
not
like
6 feet, more at least 9 feet. Six. You think he's as tall as me while I'm standing? Well, he's like on all fours.
He's 12 feet tall on all fours.
Yeah.
18 feet on 2 feet.
Yeah.
He is insane. That is massive. You're cooked, dude. You're cooked.
He only gains 6 feet when he's standing up on both legs. No way.
Yeah.
Only what?
Most of his height when he's on his hands on all fours comes from his legs and arms.
But only 6 feet?
Dude, his torso is maybe a human size.
I guess. Yeah.
And in comparison, his legs are probably 3 humans. Like,
yeah, probably.
It's not a fair comparison. That's not cool. But you do not survive Catnap. And the gas?
Yeah, the gas.
The poppy gas? You're going to sleep, and then you're going to be eaten in your sleep.
Yeah. We should probably talk about that, actually, the gas.
Oh, yeah, the poppy gas.
The redirection of the gas. I think that was a very cool part of the game.
Hold on, redirection, that's Chapter 4.
No. When you direct the gas?
Oh, wait, we're talking about different things. You do it in both. That's my bad.
No, the direction of the gas in Chapter 3. The one that Catnap has.
Yeah.
That gas.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, because you also have to do that in 4.
Yeah.
I thought that's what you were talking about. No, that's
no.
my bad.
You have to redirect the gas in Chapter 3 as well because you need to get to an area where the gas is sitting.
That's my bad.
And I think that's where the area for Chapter 4 is.
Yeah, that's where you send the gas. Yeah, the poppy gas is weird. I don't know if I can say exactly what they are.
It doesn't exactly put you to sleep. It brings you in the hallucinations. Like remember when
it's a nightmare.
It's a night basically.
They put you out.
When we got infected with the gas, we were outside of Playtime Co. and we saw the whole building and stuff like that. And then we also had a nightmare version of Huggy.
Yeah, we can actually get the nightmare version of Huggy on the screen. Yeah, Nightmare Huggy interesting.
Yeah.
And a lot bigger.
Pretty scary. I'm not gonna lie.
That version of Huggy is so much bigger than the first one. It's actually terrifying. And you can't run.
Yeah.
They make you slow as hell so he can't get you. So he can get you.
Yep.
This is a little annoying. But the weird thing about it is it does put you to sleep, but it gives you such vivid dreams that people often mistake it for reality. That's actually why the catnap plushies in one of the VHS tapes got recalled.
Yeah.
Because they were releasing poppy gas and their children and parents' children were having very scary, real dreams.
Yeah.
And Catnap himself produces this gas like it's his breath.
Yeah.
And that's even scarier. That means he doesn't need like a canister. He can't run out. He can just consistently pump out gas like there's no tomorrow.
Here's why I think it's more of hallucinations than it is putting you to sleep. Is because remember, by the end of chapter 3, we see Catnap in the area where the canister of gas is spreading gas throughout the building.
Yes.
He uses the gas, he sprays it, and then his body turns into this like malformed version of him. And the reason why I say it's hallucinations is because we have the mask on that keeps us from inhaling the gas. So I'm thinking the gas that he emits from the catnap that's in the bigger body is making gas that is causing hallucinations and not putting people to sleep.
If he can produce it, I think he can do both. Honestly, I think if you change a dosage, it definitely makes it easier to control what response someone has. Because the gas itself, its purpose was to put children into a death-like sleep so that they could be experimented on. And the issue, if it just caused hallucinations, it would make the experience and the need to get them separate from everyone else so they can do their experiments 1,000 times harder than it had to be. But Catnap himself can probably change how much gas he releases to, change the effect.
I think it depends. Do you think the amount that he released was too little to cause us to go into sleep? Because we had the mask on. The mask on wouldn't allow us to inhale it.
Yeah, the difference is I think we did inhale it. I don't think we inhaled enough to go to sleep. The thing about it is I think he might. Now, this is all speculation.
So take what we say with a grain of salt.
I don't know. No.
Yeah.
We know the lore about Catnap. We don't know exactly how he works.
Yeah.
I'm somewhat positive that he can change not only the amount he releases, but the density of what he releases. So a thicker cloud, which is why in the final battle it's red everywhere. And that's not just gas; it's active fog. And that much fog, I don't think the mask could handle. So there was bits and bits getting through.
Yes.
100%, Catnap was trying to put us to sleep then and there.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He was trying to make you go out.
Yeah.
The mask, I think, was just enough to stop you from going to sleep, but not enough to stop the hallucinogenic effects of
making Catnap look like an absolute monster.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that part was probably the scariest in that chapter.
Yeah, for sure. And it was the most confusing.
Either that one or the Nightmare Huggy.
Nightmare Huggy was not that scary. I mean, it was once you accept that it was inevitable.
You didn't think it was a little scary?
I think it was scary. But in comparison,
look at.
Oh yeah.
He's watching you, bro.
Yeah, if we can get a wide shot. That right there. The funniest part, that's the tape that Nightmare Huggy comes out of. He heard me talking about him for sure.
Yep.
I'm not scary, I'm about to prove it. But I think in comparison, Nightmare Huggy was not as scary as Catnap. Like by a mile.
Nightmare Catnap, you could call him.
Like by a mile.
Anyways, we'll be right back after this sponsorship. We'll be talking about chapter 4 and maybe wrapping this up.
Thank you to support from our sponsor, Think Security. In this modern age, safety for your business and for your property is becoming more and more important. And for you, it should be a top priority. So why not have a trusted source? Introducing Think Security, the newest in security technology. This amazing company creates a variety of items with the intended purpose to keep you safe. Portable alert systems, security cameras, you name it. Go without a doubt with Think Security. You can contact them at 926-7555 or visit them directly at 272 South 5th Avenue in the City of Industry, California. Thank you. Now back to our scheduled entertainment.
Welcome back, everybody. As you see by the change of scenery, we're gonna be talking about chapter 4 of Poppy Playtime.
Yep. Oh. Hi.
Hi.
Don't worry, I won't eat you.
Why would you eat us?
Okay.
And just like that,
Hi.
he's gone. What on earth?
We're not safe in here, bro.
I don't know if y'all can see it. Probably not. There's a crack in the wall over there. That was a big thing. How?
I don't know.
Let's just move on. Holy.
Yeah.
All right. So, chapter 4, definitely an upgrade from everything that happened before.
You think it's better than chapter 3?
By far.
Yeah.
It had an upgrade in content, in voice acting. It had an upgrade in just every aspect.
Let's kick this off with a question, shall we?
All right.
So, who is actually contained within Dowie? Because I know there's a lot of controversial statements about how many people are actually inside of him and who it actually is.
Okay, I agree with there are 3.
Okay.
My issue is Dowie is very confusing, and I was up very late last night, so Dowie was one of the few people I overlooked.
Yeah.
But Dowie contains 3 people, which is why there are 3 colors.
Uh-huh.
And if you look at his design, if we pull up a picture of Dowie, if you look on his center, right, he has 3 hands that all curl onto his stomach. The 3 children within Dowie is Matthew Hallard, Kevin Barnes, and Jack Ayers. Now, each of these children make him a very volatile person. The issue, all of these children's personalities clashed.
Yeah.
Matthew Hallard was the most logical of them. He thought very insincerely. He thought, wins, losses, what can we do to secure a better, better outcome?
Yeah.
Kevin Barnes was the angry one, the very volatile and aggressive one who did nothing, who wanted to hurt the scientists like they hurt him.
Yeah.
The last one, which was Jake Ayers, was the very caring, fun-loving character, which we see Dowie portrayed as most of the time. Like when we just met him.
Yeah.
That was Jack Ayers talking. And the thing about him, he's so volatile that he can't even keep his emotions in check.
Yeah.
It's very hard for him to stay.
And you can see that throughout multiple points in the story where he's always like has a different emotion going on. After he says something, he says another thing because he feels this different way, and then he'll say another thing because he feels this way. So he'll feel multiple things about one issue, and it makes him a very complex character.
Yes, and the funny part is, I really like Dowie for one reason. Dowie is a representation of the human mind. So I took psychology. And in psychology, there are 3 levels of the mind that they talk about: the ego, the ID, and the superego. So the ego is basically your conscious mind. Feel free to correct me if anyone else knows. The conscious mind does not care about big issues. It wants to worry about the here and the now. The superego cares about the long term, the logical part of you. And then the last part, the ID or the inner desire, is your reckless form. It's exactly what you want and how you're gonna get it, regardless of who's in your way. Each of the children within Dowie represents a different part of the human mind. He's such a complex character in that way. That's why I love him.
It is. It's very interesting. Why put 3 children within Dowie?
It was an accident.
It was an accident?
So there was, in the very beginning of chapter 4, you see a tape played. It is a child who got invited to go see Playtime Co. during one of their tours. He falls into a vat of the Play-Doh that makes Dowie the toy. And this is around the same time as they're doing the Bigger Bodies initiative. They use that same dough to try and make a bigger body. Issue. The kids that they used did not fit well with the child that was already in the dough because of the accident. So, when they tried, they basically brought the parents back saying, hey, we can bring your kid back. But he's not going to be like you knew him before. They came back to see him because they thought it was, their little boy.
Yeah.
And Kevin Barnes, who was not their little boy, was very angry because he didn't know who he was, what was going on, or who would hurt him.
Yeah.
So he ends up, outing his parents. Not intentionally, but... And then after that, you have Jack Ayers come out and say, I'm sorry, in a very cry voice because he just hurt people more. And it just shows just how volatile he is. Yeah. Even at the beginning, he didn't know who he was.
Yeah. It's very interesting because Dowie in the beginning was basically our ally, helping us out and stuff like that. Talking about how, I don't know if he talked about how he ended up the way he was.
No, none of them remember how they ended up. It was. They do remember being questioned. But other than that, they don't know the ins and outs of exactly how they were made.
Yeah. Also want to get into another character named the Doctor.
Oh, a.k.a. Harley Sawyer.
Harley Sawyer. Yes. Harley Sawyer.
That is a big cup of worms. Before we do that, I have some questions for you.
Okay. All right.
Chapter 4 focused a bit more on Chase. A lot of cat and mouse.
Yes.
What do you think of that change from Chapter 3 from cat and mouse or from puzzles to cat and mouse?
I think it's very interesting because it seems like every chapter there's a new dynamic. And I feel like going with a dynamic like this would have been great for something like Chapter 2. I feel like there wasn't really any cat and mouse game within here.
There was one.
That's poor choice of words. I mean, I feel like this style of gameplay would have worked better in a chapter like Chapter 2, because I felt like Chapter 2 was more. It was kind of like cat and mouse, but she wasn't really chasing you. She was just testing you. I feel like that should have been done with the Doctor. I feel like the Doctor should have tested us a little bit more, and I feel like should have been more interested on what we are and kind of stuff like that. But he didn't really do that. He was just kind of like the pawn in the Prototypes game kind of thing. I feel like there should have been a lot more, not dialogue from him, but more interactions, I feel like, with the player. I feel like there wasn't a lot of that in Chapter 4. And then also, I would have liked to see interactions between the Doctor and maybe Poppy as well. That
would be fun.
I wish I could have seen that.
Yeah. My next question, it's funny. I wanted to get your thoughts on the world building. So, Dowie, we see all of them described. There are 3 realms within Playtime Co. There is the Prototypes territory, there is the Doctor's territory, and then there's Safe Haven, which is where you are most of the time. What are your thoughts on that kind of world building section? Like, instead of just going through a whole story, you have an area where you can stay safe.
It's Safe Haven, I feel like, it's very massive, very big. I feel like having 2 separate domains for the Doctor and the Prototype made me feel like the Doctor and the Prototype weren't exactly pawns of each other, and they were more so like if it was like a 2 kings but working together kind of deal. And I know they wanted us to perceive that the Prototype was really the big bad, but I felt like the Doctor in his own way was not, if he was just as, if not more powerful than the Prototype, because he had almost control over the whole building basically.
Yes.
He was everywhere, and so was the Prototype essentially. So I feel like that actually leads to my next question: is do you believe the Doctor could have destroyed the Prototype if he wanted to?
No.
Why do you say that?
The issue with the Doctor trying to destroy the Prototype, one, I don't think he ever would, because the Prototype was his first success. Second, I don't think he had the power to. Even though he controlled most of the facility, he did not control the people in it. So he did have control of the nightmare critters, but the nightmare critters never got bigger bodies. So even if he wanted to, I don't think he had the power to. That, and if he really, really wanted to kill the prototype, he would have to get through Catnap. He would have to get through all of the smiling critters.
We did
he
that
would
for
have to
him.
get through Miss Delight. Yeah, but Miss Delight was never gotten rid of.
It's true.
There are a lot of more roads he would have to go through in order to get rid
But
of.
think about all the robots that he built.
Those robots are nothing. If you've seen the prototypes build, those robots are not doing anything.
But I think the Doctor could have built something that was on par with the prototype because he's done it before. He made the prototype.
True.
He could have made something that was possible. That was him. He himself could have probably built something for him to defeat the prototype.
Maybe, but
Maybe.
all in all, I think he was just too limited with the area he was in and the manpower that he had.
If you think if there was one person that could defeat the prototype, you would say, would it be the Doctor?
It would be Dowie.
Dowie? You think it would be Dowie?
Because if Dowie were able to get control of his volatile emotions, Dowie himself said he'd fought off the prototype before.
Wow.
He actively says when Poppy warns him saying, "Oh, we brought the prototype," he's like, "I will lead him away."
Yeah.
Dowie has actively survived and pushed the prototype. I'm thinking if Dowie went to his full nightmare form out of anger against the prototype wouldn't beat Dowie.
Yeah.
That's 900 pounds of dough that's malleable in every way.
Well, the prototype's 900 pounds. Well, more than 900 pounds of metal.
We don't know that yet. We don't know that yet.
But he looks pretty massive.
He looks big.
He's pretty massive. Why? I always wondered, why does the prototype look like what he is?
That one I don't have an answer for.
You don't?
He is such a confusing character. There's so little on his actual upbringing.
Is he a child?
No.
He's not a child. Is he
the
like...
running idea is he's not a child. He's a very angry adult.
Angry adult? Okay.
Because there is a current theory. Let me pull up his name. There's a current theory on who the prototype is.
You know what'd be cool? If it was Elliot Ludwig.
That is a theory.
That is a theory?
But it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit.
Yeah. Who do you think it is?
I can't remember his name, but there is this guy you find audio logs and tapes of in the storage in Chapter 2.
Yeah.
No, Chapter 1. Is it Chapter 1? No, it's Chapter 2. Chapter 2. And he's angry. He got demoted because he lost his temper. He eventually got promoted again, and he was in play care, and he was talking to the person who was going to promote him, and he's like, we can't even talk to these kids. Like, he was angry about how they were being treated, and for him to become the prototype, I mean, it's fitting with the personality, what the company's done to him, and all of that, just to turn him into one of the most sophisticated, bigger bodies that they have. I mean...
He got his revenge already.
Mostly, yeah.
He got his, if it is that employee, he got his revenge already. But that begs the question, if it is that employee, how would they have done that without, like... I guess they could have done it out of his own free will. They could have experimented on him, and... But here's the thing, though. The weird thing is that he was the start of the Big Bodies Initiative.
He was the first success.
First success, yes. But he was an adult. We've already reconciled that adults are never, when they're in the big bodies, they don't have a perception of what they are, or they don't have any recollection of whatsoever.
That's why he is so different, because he was the first success of the bigger bodies that pile drived Harley Sawyer's success with the company to keep building bigger bodies.
Yeah.
There was a big difference. He was given time to process who he was, to find out everything about himself, and then use that. The difference is he has so much power now, and he's able to relate to the pain that all of these children have gone through. There is no reason for them to attack him. The difference between him and when they tried to do it again with Braun, they implemented Braun too quickly.
And this is just with the theory that the prototype is actually an employee that was against the company.
Yeah, but I think it's a very valid
That
theory.
it was an employee that was very much so against what they were doing and stuff like that.
Yes.
Okay.
It just chronologically it makes sense. It's very it satisfies the story, and all in all, I think we might be able to find out who the prototype is in chapter 5.
Do you think the prototype was meant to imitate a toy?
No,
No.
by no means.
Do you think, because a lot of people are theorizing that he looks like a jack, or like a, what's it called, like a jester,
Jack in a box?
Yeah, kind of like that. That's what they're saying. That's what he looks like.
That reminds me more of Boxy Boo than
We actually haven't
Prototype.
seen Boxy. Well, we saw him in the tapes, but we haven't seen him in the actual real game.
No, and we've only ever seen him in the spin-off.
In the Dead by Daylight kind of thing.
What's it called? Project Playtime.
Project Playtime, yeah.
Project Playtime is its own little world. Can't wait till they add Doey though.
Yeah, that'd be
Yes,
that'd be
Doey.
sick.
That'd be fun. Where was I? Oh, the prototype in himself. We might learn more about him.
Yeah.
Within chapter 4.
Do you think chapter 5 is
Or
the last?
5.
Do you think chapter 5 is the last chapter?
No.
You don't think so?
No. It feels. I get it. Like people don't like really long run series. Bendy ended pretty quickly.
Uh-huh.
But I think there's so much more that Mob Games can take from this series that ending it at chapter 5 would kind of not only rob us, but rob themselves.
So how many chapters do you think it needs to be fully complete? Like 7?
I'd give it like 8.
8?
Like, there's so much more you can, like, uncover about Playtime Co. Like, more about Elliot Ludwig, more about, how the employees were treated, or more dates. Like, there's a lot more they can do.
I saw something on a YouTube. It was somebody came up with the idea of like a spin-off for Poppy Playtime where you're actually one of the bigger bodies. And
That's what Project Playtime is.
You're playing as no, but like it's like a story-based game. And you're one of the bigger bodies, and somebody said like maybe it's not one of the main ones, maybe it's one of the ones that we have that hasn't been used yet. And they could be like you could escape from Playtime Co. and like escape the prototype's grasp and stuff like that.
That's funny. You know why? Because Bendy's doing that exact thing.
Yeah.
Bendy's doing that exact thing. That's funny. I feel like that could work, but then again, it kind of feels like a waste of time.
Think so?
They can put so much more effort into each of the. Like, if you notice, if you look throughout the chapters, visually they get better with every time.
Yeah.
And I feel like they'd sacrifice a lot of that if they chose to do a spin-off.
Yeah.
We all know spin-offs don't ever do as well as
Sometimes.
the main game.
Sometimes.
Like, it's really, you're rolling the dice there.
But I think it's a good concept.
It's a good concept,
Yeah.
but I think that's more of a main game thing.
Uh-huh.
Like maybe give them memories. Let the employee that
What
you
if
play
that's
as-
like that? What if that like throughout the story you slowly learn who you were, and then once you finally figure out who you are, you then maybe it's like in chapter 5 we meet this bigger body that's helping us, and then like in the spin-off we could play as the bigger body as they slowly learn, and then at the end of the game is when we meet with the player in the main game.
That would be cool.
See, dude, I would be such a good.
Or what if in the end we get turned into a bigger body?
Ooh.
And
But
that's
what-
where they take the next
But
chapter.
what if we get turned into the bigger body, but then we still fight back against the prototype and win? That'd be sick.
That'd be funny. I noticed a lot of the things that were missing from chapter 4 were the prototype's zealots. His
Zealots?
his followers.
Oh. Well, we kind of killed them.
Not all of them.
Yeah, but we killed the main ones.
We killed his priest.
Yeah.
You got his priest pretty much.
I mean, if you kill the priest, then who's there that you can listen to?
Actually, we didn't even get the priest. He got his priest.
He did actually. He killed his own priest.
That was the funny part.
Yeah.
Not so funny for him. And it was so sad.
Yeah.
Catnap went on his knees in worship, and then just prototype took his fingers, put them together, and through the mouth.
Yeah.
Was
I wonder, what do you think he did with Catnap?
You used him to become part of himself.
Do you think he's a collection of actual bodies?
Yep.
Because I heard there's a theory that he's collecting them for something other than he's not attaching them to his own body.
I like to run with the theory that he is attaching them to his own body.
So like you're thinking maybe because Huggy Wuggy got repaired.
Yes.
Think about it. Who do you think repaired him? Do you think it
Prototype
was-
100% was the reason he got prepared. The Doctor doesn't give a crap about any of these bigger bodies. He made that very clear.
even though he made him.
Just because you made something doesn't mean you care about it.
Fair. I have some very big questions for you.
Okay, before we get into the big questions,
Okay.
I have some questions for you.
Okay.
These are smaller questions, so
Yeah.
they work. Chapter 4 has some very different, puzzles.
Yes.
The puzzles themselves are more complex. You have to travel more, you have to find certain areas.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What do you think of adding more complexity to the puzzles?
I feel like sometimes that takes away from the actual game because you're so focused on figuring out these puzzles that you forget about all the kind of stuff. Not really forget about it, but like it's taking focus away from what is actually storytelling. And I feel like if you have too much of that puzzle, it kind of ruins your gaming experience a little bit. But I wouldn't say, of course, that's not for everybody. Of course, when I played it, I just wanted a fun experience. Obviously, I wasn't like crazy into lore or something like that. I just wanted is it scary? Is it good? Is it do we have good gameplay? Is it fast? Is it slow? All that kind of stuff. Yeah. So I feel like if you're a casual gamer, sometimes that might take away from what you are trying to do. But if you're a big person into the lore, that it probably wouldn't affect you that much.
Me.
Yeah.
Other than that, what do you think of the nightmare critters? Adding a new level of
I don't know. I didn't really care about them. They were just smiling critters, but nightmare. That's all there really are. They were like, what was I gonna say, like controlled by the Doctor, right?
Yes.
They were controlled by the Doctor. Okay.
It's like the Doctor has the nightmare critters while the prototype has the smiling critters.
Yeah. They're just the smiling critters, but they're bad. They were all bad technically. So
quote unquote bad.
Yeah. Alrighty.
We can get into these big questions.
These are the big boy questions, all right?
Boy.
Why do you think Poppy Playtime became so popular?
My thought process behind its popularity was because mascot horror, because of FNAF had taken the internet by storm, everyone was making a mascot horror game. You had Garten of Banban, Bendy was starting to resurface.
Yep.
And the issue is all of these felt repetitive.
Uh-huh.
They all felt, we're doing this again.
Absolutely,
we're
yeah.
repeating this again, right? The difference in those was complexity. The other two, Bendy had run its course. Bendy was done.
Yeah.
I don't know why they decided to bring it back. Personally, I did like Dark Revival, but
I haven't seen a lot of gameplay on that.
yeah, Dark Revival is a little weird.
Yeah.
But that's a story for another day.
Yeah.
Dark Revival was okay, right? And then the follow-up with Boris was kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
Garten of Banban was releasing games back and forth. Like, they were just popping out games like it was nothing. Poppy Playtime is one of those mascot horrors that took a lot of time to make their games the best they could be.
Absolutely, yeah.
And even then, I'm fairly certain, don't quote me, I'm fairly certain that they did criticize themselves, and that's why it got better with every installment. They did a very different process,
yeah.
which made their game so much more complex and so much more satisfying, just like FNAF did in the beginning. Yeah, they were quick, but the games were quality.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely think the mascot aspect of it is very enticing because that's it's like one of the games like Hello Neighbor, very click heavy. Like you see Hello Neighbor, you click it. Kind of like it just becomes so recognizable to a point where you see it and you're like, "Oh, I know what this is," even if you haven't played the games. Kind of thing. It was like FNAF, you see Freddy, I know who that is.
Yeah.
Bendy, I know who Bendy is.
Anyone who has like a head mascot or
Yeah.
like a face,
Yeah.
that tends to make them more recognizable.
Absolutely, yeah. My next question. Do you think Poppy Playtime stacks up well with other great indie horror games such as FNAF, Bendy and the Ink Machine, and Hello Neighbor?
Yes.
Yeah?
It's up there.
Do you think
It's 100% up there.
Do you think it's on par or if not better than those ones?
In terms of top 3,
Yeah.
this is a little bias. FNAF at the top.
Okay.
I actually would put Poppy above Bendy.
Really?
Only because Bendy was great. Initial release, everyone was begging for a chapter 2.
Yeah.
And then they remade the chapter, made it better. Just the issue was the story got a little repetitive. Don't get me wrong, I love a straight storyline because FNAF is definitely not known for having a direct storyline.
No, it's not a line at this point.
And Poppy Playtime has a direct storyline. It has a story you can follow.
Yeah.
The difference between Bendy and Poppy Playtime was building off of a story but still making each game feel single.
Yes.
Like you could play each chapter by themselves and they felt like a single game.
Absolutely. Yep.
But Bendy, it felt like they were using all these chapters and keeping it completely linear. Like they were going back to back.
Yeah.
And I love it, but I feel like just Poppy Playtime did it better. So in terms of top 3 mascot horror games is FNAF, Poppy Playtime, and then Bendy.
Yeah, I would agree. I feel like there's also a aspect because we're both 18.
Yep.
We grew up with games kind of like this, like FNAF, Bendy and Machine. Those came out, I think, Bendy and Machine came out like 2017, something like that.
Yeah, and then FNAF is like 2014.
2014. Hello Neighbor, same thing, 2016, something like that. And also, a lot of that aspect with like teenagers nowadays, they love these games so much because they are so recognizable for such a long time. And I feel like Poppy Playtime is starting to become that, but for the newer generation.
It's like nostalgia baiting.
Yes.
It's basically they make a game similar to what's in the past, but they do it in a way that's their own. And they invoke that level of nostalgia, and then that nostalgia is passed down.
Yes, absolutely.
And then if we love it, that means other people are going to see it, and if they see it, they're going to try it, and then if they try it and they love it, then it gets pushed off from there.
It's like Poppy Playtime is like today's version of FNAF. No, we're not as good, but it's like when FNAF came out for us when we were kids. Poppy Playtime came out when this newer generation were kids, and so this is going to be the game that they talk about probably when they're our age. They're going to be talking about Poppy Playtime like we are with like FNAF and stuff like that.
Kids.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. Those weird kids, just like with us, those weird kids are eventually just going to become normal.
Yeah.
It's going to be weird because, like, I remember getting made fun of for liking everything I did.
Yeah.
And now it's like, no one cares.
No, because everybody loves it now.
It's like, yeah, cool, it's mainstream. Let's keep it.
Yeah. But I think overall, Poppy Playtime is a great series. I think it's to go into the VHS tapes, the video games, the ARGs, everything like that.
They're putting everything they have into this.
And that's why it's so good to play something like that, because you're able to appreciate it more knowing that there was hard work getting put into it. Does that make sense, right?
Yeah, you're able to enjoy it better.
You're able to enjoy it because you know this is somebody's baby. Like
this is pride and joy.
It's just somebody's, and I feel like that it's very special because not a lot of times you don't see that a lot of times with indie games, like especially this good of quality. Like in it, like maybe I don't know who's an indie game that looks really good today that came out recently.
I mean, no one really does great. Okay, I will give like maybe like Joy of Creation's remake, but other than that,
there's not really like this is the top notch right now.
Yeah.
This is every like, especially being a horror game lover, this is all I can ask for, and it's really special because I feel like the community, they need games like Poppy Playtime.
Yeah, I agree.
Because not only are you such a good franchise, you're actually giving people chances to push other things like YouTube and stuff like that, especially like game theory. You're able to push out so much content with such a good game like this. You're able to really express how you feel about certain aspects, what you like, what you don't like, and all that kind of stuff. And it's funny because the creators are listening, and they're able to build off of that. And I just think that's really special. Alrighty, well, that's all the time we have left. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to check out our Twitch. Make sure to check out my Twitch at I_am_Elderlord. Make sure to check out Garrett's at Dungeon 2 Breaker.
It's over.
We gotta get out of here. Ah!